Hello from Rowlett, Texas. This is Michael with Third Eye Mind, Yoga, Meditation, and Sound Therapy Studio. Coming to you from Paddle Point Park here in Rowlett, Texas. We are located on Miller Road, just off of the banks of the Lake Ray Hubbard. It's a beautiful spot, and we hope someday you're able to come out and visit us here at the studio and join us on the mat. Well, we've been in our lunch and learns so far. We've talked about yoga, we've talked about meditation, and we've talked about sound therapy. So today we're going to kind of bring all of that together and see how can you incorporate these three things into your life and what's going to be the benefits of that. So let's start out with yoga. Yoga is a lot of things. We talked about the 8 limbs of yoga. And so even aside from postures, if your body is achy and you've got some issues with knees or with certain things, and certain postures are not comfortable for you to do, we do not recommend that you put yourself through pain. That's not the point of yoga. Yoga is not to hurt yourself. So if your body is not in a position to make some of these movements, then that part of yoga, not that it's closed off to you. You can definitely, there's postures you can do, but you may be able to focus on other aspects of the other 7 limbs of yoga. You could focus more on breathing. And so you could find some time to set aside and do some breathing exercises. You could, if breathing's not your thing, maybe just being more mindful about the way you eat, being more mindful about the things you say. Those are also very in line with following the path of yoga. So easily you can incorporate a breathing exercise or maybe reading from your favorite spiritual book. You could be reading from the Yoga Sutras if you're into the yoga side of things. You could be reading from Bhagavad Gita. You could be reading from the New Testament or the Old Testament. You could be reading from the Quran. You could be reading from any spiritual text. And in so doing, what does that do? That brings us closer to the divine, which is also one of the limbs of yoga. So there's easily ways with just a little bit of study of the 8 paths that you could incorporate yoga into your daily life. Now, for me, I like to do things early, and it kind of starts the day out right. So for me, doing a morning routine works best. For some people, it may be in the evenings. You have to kind of look at your schedule and see where you can carve out a few moments for yourself. And that's really what this is about. It's about setting aside time for you. And I'd start with 5 minutes. And so 5 minutes for your whatever yoga that you plan to incorporate into your daily routine. And then next is meditation. So same thing, meditation, you can take 5 minutes of just thoughtful contemplation about your day. Now, that can be very rewarding in the evening when you're thinking about tomorrow or when you're reflecting on the day that you've just finished. Either one of those. You could do both. If 5 minutes is too long to think about one thing, take a minute to think about what all did I accomplish today? Wow, it was a pretty great day. I'm grateful that I had this amazing day. And then what do I got planned for tomorrow? Spend another minute thinking about that. And if there's any big events coming up, you can take a few moments. That's, to me, being mindful and meditative about your thoughts. It's as simple as that. You could take those few moments to just sit with yourself and relax. That's also meditative. You could ponder about maybe some challenges that you're facing in your life at that moment and just kind of sit with those challenges and see what thoughts pop up into your mind. Maybe a solution's right around the corner and you just need to sit and think about it just for a little bit longer. Let it simmer in your mind. with your attention, and who knows what'll pop up. So that's also very meditative. I also find it very meditative to do certain things, like washing the dishes for me is kind of a meditative thing. I just stop thinking about anything else except washing the dishes. That's really what meditation's about. Being present in the moment of whatever your thoughts are, whatever's happening, without trying to change it, just seeing it, recognizing it, and seeing where it goes. It's as simple as that. Again, morning is great for that. First thing out of bed, don't grab the phone. Just sit and let your body awake. In that 5 minutes, you can really find a bit of letting your mind kind of spin up and catch up, rather than jumping into going right to work and checking your emails and seeing what's already, catastrophe is already upon you. If you give yourself just a few moments, just like warming up your car on a cold day, you turn it on, you let it sit for a little bit, let the engine warm up before you take it out for the ride. It's still going to drive whether you do that or not. Yes, it will. It'll drive just fine. It'll warm up while you're driving. But it does have some negative effects. Same thing with our body. We wake up and jump right out of bed into our busy day and don't give it a few moments just to kind of get up to speed. Sometimes we're a bit foggy. Sometimes we might miss something, forget our keys, lost our wallet. All of those things, if we had given ourselves just a few moments to settle into the day and be prepared for what's about to come about, maybe it would be different. Give it a try. So on to sound. So think about how music affects your mood. That's a big one for me. If I'm feeling kind of down, a happy song might cheer me up. If I'm feeling a little bit anxious, maybe something with a bit of a peppy beat to it, maybe some funny lyrics, something like that might be helpful. Sometimes if you're feeling angry, put on that Beethoven's Ninth. It's magical. It soothes the savage beast. There's movies written about it. I mean, it takes you to another place. If you've never listened to Beethoven's Ninth, I highly recommend it. But that is anger medicine right there for me. Something like that is how you can incorporate sound into your life. So have maybe a happy playlist. So if you've got whatever music service that you're using at the moment, set yourself up with a playlist, and that whenever you're starting to feel a bit blue, throw on that and get a dance going, right? Make sure that you're moving your body, make sure you're taking big breaths and listening to music that can help kind of change your mood a bit. So you can incorporate into your daily routine. You can have maybe one of the sound devices that we demonstrated. You can have some chimes, and when you're feeling maybe a bit anxious, you can hit the chimes and just kind of focus on that sound and just see how you feel after that a little bit. Take some breaths as you're listening to the sound and that ching as it's dissipating. That can be very helpful. Having your own rain stick. We've got several rain sticks here, and I'll watch out the window as I'm watching the sunset, and I'll be working the rain stick and imagining that there's just this rain that's just washing those sad thoughts or those challenging ideas or things that are going on in my life. It just gives me some moment to settle for a second, let my body adjust, and let my mind kind of just let the sediment, if you will, kind of settle down, and then you can kind of think a little bit more clearly. Definitely incorporate breathing into any and all of these things. Breathing is probably one of the most important parts of yoga, I'm finding. The pranayama side of things, you're able to really kind of control a lot of different things in your body through your breath. There's some breathing exercises that we go through in some of our classes that are very helpful for when you're feeling a bit anxious, whenever you're feeling a bit lethargic, whenever you're feeling a bit scared, fearful, angry, whatever. Breath can do a whole lot to help in those type of instances and be a positive. So as far as obviously yoga side of things, you can do breath, or when you're moving, make sure you're breathing, doing your asanas, doing your postures. Meditation, you're definitely going to be focusing on breathing at some point during your meditation, so that's a very big part of that. And with sound, I find big deep breaths, big inhales through the nose, and then just nice release exhale. And so there's a little what do you call it, acronym, pause, if you will. So I like to think about this whenever something triggers me off and I feel like I'm going to get angry or feel like I want to make some sarcastic comment. I want to pause for just a second, and this is what it spells out. So being prepared is the biggest part of all this. Knowing that these things are going to happen. Something's going to bound to if you're any kind of person that holds your emotions in, you're bound to be triggered off occasionally. If you don't recognize that, well, I'm here to tell you, you probably are. And so it's okay. It happens to a lot of us. A lot of us these days get triggered off by things. And it's a process. So think about it like this. Be prepared for it. Have that happy playlist. Have that, I've got some squeezy balls that I carry around that help whenever my hands hurt, and I'll do that. Or if I'm feeling a little stressed out, I'll squeeze on the stressy ball. That's very helpful. So that's kind of the P of pause. You're going to be prepared for that, because when it hits, that's it. You're going to pause. But you're prepared. You had something there that you can either start squeezing on or put on the playlist. Then the next one, A, is you're going to assess what's going on. What am I feeling right now? I'm feeling angry. Why am I feeling angry? Okay, so assess what's going on. What could have caused me to be angry? It's usually not what that happened in that moment. It was usually, I'm finding with myself, is a thought of what was maybe something that's going to go on later, and I was starting to get kind of worked up about it, and then something happened, and that was the tinder, or the other was the tinder, and that was kind of the flame that sparked it off, or that was the spark that flamed it up. So if you think about it that way, again, being mindful in your thoughts, realizing I'm gonna need to have something prepared for this. Bang, I'm assessing the situation. I may need to take a breath or two. I may need to step out for a second. I may need, just seeing what it is, does your body feel like it needs? Maybe you need to take a drink. Maybe you need to take a break. Maybe you need to take a nap. It's as simple as that. But assessing the situation so you realize what's going on. Next one, understand. Understand your body is doing this for a reason. You're feeling this way for a reason. This is your body's way. It's the sensors that it has. It's the only way it can get our attention, it seems. Because these days we're so busy running around and we're ignoring what our body's trying to tell us. Sometimes it's just got to be exhausted, and you fall asleep sitting at a stoplight because you haven't been getting good rest. The body's going to win. Sleep will always win in those cases, and that's very sad when people get into accidents and things happen when they fall asleep. But we're running at full tilt, most of us these days, and that's where incorporating these different things into your life can really be a benefit. So just understanding that my body is telling me something. I've assessed it. I see what's going on. Now I'm looking into my body. I'm looking inside, and I'm trying to understand what it is that the body's trying to tell me. Why do I got this sick feeling in my gut? Why do I have this tightness in my chest? Why is it that that I'm having trouble breathing right now? Assessing it and understanding. Next, you're going to follow by the sensations. Yes, these sensations are happening in my body. What is it? How can I now, with E, exhaling? This is where the breath comes in. Okay, so we're going to exhale longer than we inhale, which means we're taking control of the breath, which means we're going to inhale through our nose to a 3 count. And then as we exhale, really pushing it out through the lungs. And the first couple need to really be out of your mouth. really push it out and count at least a second longer. So if you inhaled for 3, 1, 2, 3, then you're going to exhale for 4. Exhaling 2, 3, 4, and then just do it again. Inhale for 3, exhale for 4. Then if you can make it to 5, exhale to 5. The longer you can make those exhales, the deeper those breaths are going to be, and naturally your body will start to regulate and start to find an equilibrium. And that's all we're trying to do in these cases. When you're starting to feel anxious, when you're starting to feel afraid, when you're starting to feel angry, use that pause thing. Hopefully it works for you. Excuse me. Definitely, the happy playlist I've found saves the day on a lot of things. Make sure that these are really songs that really make you feel happy, and they will. It's something about the beat of them, something about the lyrics of them, but there's something about them that will help your insides kind of find that happy place, so that you can maybe get yourself out of there without anything really negative happening. So the biggest thing is listening to your body. This is what this all comes back to. Yoga is about looking inside, what's happening in my body, so that I can think through things better, so that I can understand the feelings that I'm having. I can understand these sensations that I'm having. I can recognize that things are going to happen in life, that we're all walking through this journey of our own, and we're bumping into people all over the place. And hey, you know what? Sometimes we get some bumps and bruises, but for the most part, we're all making it through this thing the best way that we can. Hydrate up, y'all, especially summertime right now. We're here in Texas. It is so dang hot. If your body is not hydrated properly, it's not going to function properly. You're going to think improperly. You're going to be quicker to anger. You're going to be more tired. Hydrate up, please. Drinking water is so important. Our body needs it. Every part of our body and its functions all needs that hydration. So make sure that you're hydrating yourself. Pause it out. Think through things. Be more mindful in your decisions. All of these things, rounding it out. There's a great book that I read called Atomic Habits. Get a chance, read this book. If you're like, I don't have time, I just can't. I mean, you're talking about 5 minutes here, then 5 minutes there, and then 5 minutes in the evening, and 5 minutes in the morning. I barely have time to sleep 4 hours a day, Michael. What am I supposed to do? Well, that's where this book, Atomic Habits, come in. There's things that you're doing in your life. You're already doing things on a habitual level. There's already routines that you've got in your life. You may brush your teeth. You may not brush your teeth. You may floss. You may not floss. You may put your shoes on before your socks, or your socks before your shoes. Whatever it is, there's something that you're doing already that you can attach a new habit to. So, like for instance, every time I'm going to make my coffee, I'm going to eat my new yogurts. So I'm going to have my yogurt with my coffee. And if you attach it to a thing, when I brush my teeth, I'm going to floss first. I'm going to floss and then I'm going to brush my teeth. And if you set it up attached to this other thing, that is one technique that he explains in that book that I have found huge success for. And so back to the routines, I would start with a morning. Start with a morning routine, and then when you got the morning routine down, then you can add the evening routine. How you start your day sets you up for success, or it sets you up for a struggle. I'm not going to say failure, because I don't really believe in failure. You may look at something as a failure now. I swear to you, in a year when you look back on it, it'll be a lesson, and it won't be a mistake. It'll be something that got you to where that you were getting. So never look at things as failures. Always look at it as, well, may not have been how I planned it to go, but something happened, right? So whatever it was that happened, look at it. If it was how you wanted it to be, great. If it wasn't, then try it again, or don't. Do something different. But don't ever look at your life as those things are as failures. You're learning stuff all along the way. Last time I checked, there's not really a solid rule book for this whole game of life. There's lots of people telling you lots of different things. You're just going to have to try some things out and see what's working and what's not. But that's the biggest thing, is being mindful about what is working, what is not working. those few moments that you can set aside for yourself to really sit down and think about, man, do I have goals set? Do I have a budget? Do I have an understanding of what I want to do with the rest of my days here on this planet? Don't expect that things are just going to work out. Sometimes a little bit of effort can make huge bits of changes, and definitely little incremental changes over periods of time will build up and make, who knows, next thing you know, you're a concert violinist and you are playing in Beethoven's Ninth, and you're singing the choir, and it's amazing. Or you're dancing, or you're writing your book, or you're whatever it is that you're doing. All those things start somewhere, and they start with small little movements, small little habits. So yoga's no different, meditation's no different, sound therapy's no different. And bringing it all into a close, thank you so much for being here at our Lunch and Learn. If there's anything that you learned here, please click the like button. Again, not because you like us or you think that we're great or anything, but because you learned something. That's what that's going to tell me. These are meant as informational sessions to help people to better understand a little bit about what we do here at Third Eye Mind, but just about yoga, meditation, and sound therapy in general. May not know about it. We're just wanting to spread some of this information out and share it out with everybody. So with that being said, check us out on the schedule. You can go to, on your internet, 3rdi.space. That's 3rdi.space. That will take you to our schedule, and you can see what's up for that week. You can toggle down and it'll show you for the full week or for the month. Just to bring up a good one that we've got coming up, see old Mr. Moon right there? There he is, Mr. Moon. This Saturday, August the 9th, at 9 p.m., we have our monthly full moon sound session. So we're planning to be out on the patio. We will have sound bowls out there. We'll have rain sticks and ocean drums and all kinds of crazy, cool, fun stuff. There'll be a little bit of light stretching. There'll be a little bit of some exercises that we're going to do. And then we'll sit down and lay down and relax and do some sound. And it's going to be an amazing session. I cannot wait. And if you were wanting to join us, just click on to the 3rdi.space. I believe we've got it set up also on the Third Eye Mind Facebook page as an event, so you can go there and check it out. Check out our Facebook page, of course, and see what you think about that. If you're not already a follower, please do, so that you can be informed of any events that we've got coming up, like the full moon events. We do those every month on the full moon. Check out our Instagram, also at 3rdi.space. There on Instagram. We'd like to post some videos and some reels and do some fun stuff there, too, as well. Occasionally, we'll post up some flyers, so that's always fun stuff, too, as well. Again, thank you for joining us here on this Lunch and Learn. I hope that you have a great and amazing day. If you think anything here may benefit any friends of yours or anyone that you know, feel free to share it. We would love to pass on this information to as many people as are interested. And as always, thank you for being you. Thank you for being a part of this great journey of life and this human experiment. May the light in you go forth into this world and shine brightly, my friends. Namaste.